Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part number 40 of my Let's Play Pokemon Scarlet. Lovely view we have of the wonderful beach on, what is this, near Port Marinata? Yeah, so this is the western side of Paldea. Very beautiful. I have decided to kind of change up the script. I know that last episode I sort of said that I was going to do the Ruin Pokemon next, I think. Not fully sure I said that, but I think I said something along those lines. What I'm probably going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of Tera Raids, just because I want to show them off. Now, I do believe 5-star Tera Raids are a bit above my pay grade. I tried a couple, and I lost a couple. 4-star are reasonable. They're kind of a little bit too easy, but they're also, like, I don't know, 5 stars are just a little bit too difficult. I'm not making this as an excuse. If we see a 5-star raid that I like or I want to get into, I will do it. If I fail, I fail. Whatever. So we're going to do a couple of those today. What I'm going to be doing the next several episodes, though, after this, I have pretty well decided I'm going to be doing the re-challenges of the gyms. Now, I originally wanted to get together a team before I did this. Specifically, one of my teams that I would EV train, most likely my bug team, and do that. If I decide I will do that before I go into battling that, then fine, but I'm thinking that because a lot of the competitive viability opens up after you beat the Ace Academy tournament, I almost want to just wait in order to do that. That's part of the reason why I'm waiting to catch the Ruin Pokemon as well. We're probably going to hold those off until after I beat the Ace Academy tournament, just because the fact remains that I want to use them on sort of like a competitive... I want to make them competitively viable, use them on my team, on my Ubers team specifically. Good grief, English. But that's not so great or easily done if I'm going to do it before the Ace Academy tournament. There's a lot of things that I can get and obtain after beating it that will just make things a little bit easier, especially the unlocking of level 6 star raids. Now, I still do very much so want to get that bug team. If I could get that bug team flying and going beforehand and then just decide, like, hey, you know, we're going to go ahead and go straight with it. I'll get all of my team members together, have them all EV trained, bottle cap them up, because I am too lazy to... I am way too lazy to want to wait for Tera Raid battles for all these Pokemon for good IVs or to breed them. I have never liked that about Pokemon. I do not like the tedious nature of the competitive side of battling. That's why I did not get into competitive battling in Pokemon until Gen 8, actually. Literally. Sword and Shield made it so accessible. It was something I'd always wanted to do and I knew how to do, but I never did because it was too tedious before. And it was much easier in Sword and Shield. And granted, I even think it's a little bit easier in Sword and Shield than it is in this game, to some aspects. But all that being said, we're going to go ahead and check out this Meta Tera Raid, or Metal Tera Raid, which happens to be a Gabite. And obviously I'm not going to be doing online battles, so I'm going to be playing with the CPUs that are not so great, which is part of the reason why 5-star raids are not great, because I'm basically the only one doing anything, and I'm also the only one getting attacked. It's kind of abysmal to think about, like, doing it that way. Having a Garchomp with a Steel Tera type is actually a really cool idea. Unfortunately, I don't care for Garchomp. So, I don't plan on catching just about any of these Tera Raids. I could catch them just to throw them away. Kind of like give them to the good old surprise trades. And I could do that. I could do that because somebody else would like this. Somebody else would want this Pokemon. But for me, nah. I already have my team set up. And even though I'm not like, I'm not against changing if need be. If I don't have a need to change my teams, like a serious need, there's just no point. Alright, so as you can see, these are a little bit... I won't even do the Tera Raids that are less than 4-star. They don't give you enough good rewards. But after you see me beat this Tera Raid, you're going to see something incredible. The rewards in this game for beating the Tera Raids are absurd. Like, actually absurd. And I'm strongly considering using Earthquake to get rid of this, this whatever in the heck. What is that? Toad Bulb? Tad Bulb? I don't know what the heck this Pokemon is. To my right, because he keeps shocking me with his discharge. Dragon Claw. Alrighty. What's so cool about these Tera Raids, just like the raids in Pokemon Sword and Shield, is that you do not at all fail to catch. So you can catch them in whatever Pokeball you want, which is beautiful for me, because some of my favorite Pokeballs, at least out of the normal Pokeballs, are stuff like the Premier Ball and the Luxury Ball, which have no heightened catch rate. I actually think most of the other heightened catch rate balls are kind of dorky looking. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and catch this. Nothing fancy. Let's do a Premier Ball. And of course we got this pretty darn cool animation of the Pokeball saying, you know what, we're going to terrestrialize too. And we're going to capture this Pokemon and there is no way out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, so check this out. More experienced medium candies than it just says at the top. For some reason it breaks them apart like this. Not sure why, but I actually have a lot of experience candies just because of Tera Raid battles, and I've only done like a dozen. Honestly, only done like a dozen my entire playthrough. Now I did use a bunch in order to level up my team at some point because it was beyond me to want to grind. In between, like the time I was going to fight Erie and the time I was going to fight Nimona as our like last rival battle, quote unquote, at least for the time being, I definitely use experience candies. I was not about to waste my time grinding. Alright, Gabite. Dragon Ground. In rare cases, it molts and sheds its scales. Medicine containing its scales as an ingredient will make a weary body feel invigorated. Yeah, so you can just go straight in box 1. Alright, so let's see. My Pokédex is pretty close to being 200. Yep, only 3 more. And once I have 3 more, I'm going to go ahead and check out the reward that I would get, because the last time I think I checked was 180. Yeah, so my team are fairly well strong. The only problem is that regardless of how strong they look, and they do look like I have a strong team. They really do. Like level 70s and so on. I have not won a single 5-star raid. Granted, again, I'm playing offline. If I was playing online, I would probably have a better experience if I had smarter people that I was playing with, because that's not guaranteed. We all know the internet. But it was just like they're really difficult and absurdly so. Alright, Sandstorm. Alright, so what is this? Is this a 7-star raid? Okay, no, it's a 5-star. So Titan, he is what? Is that Dark type? I want to say that's either Dark or Ghost. So let's see, change my Pokemon. Dark or Ghost? That's a problem here. What? I don't know what typing that is. I do not know what typing that is. I'm guessing it's dark. I think Ghost would be like purple. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and challenge this with our Tauros again. Now this is a 5-star. I already gave the big old exclamation about how it's not truly likely I'm going to win this, but we don't necessarily know till we try. Now, one of the reasons why the raids are kind of a difficult task too, like really, really difficult at times, is because of this. This is a Titan that is alright, so yeah, this is a Titan with a Dark Tera, and he's an ice Pokemon. So a fighting Pokemon, a fire fighting Pokemon like my Tauros is going to be brutal against him. The problem is that I was having certain Tera battles with Pokemon that had types beforehand, that had moves that were capable of just like wiping out my counters, because their Tera types were basically counters to their counters. And the thing is that I don't particularly believe that any one of these Tera battles are... Yeah, see that. Look at that. I did like next to no damage. I want to use close combat, but there is a serious problem with it. And that is... Didn't even do that much damage, and now my defense and my special defense are lowered. Like, amazing. So Titan used Yawn. Okay, now check this out. I already am telling you right now, this Tera Raid battle is getting lost. Because the last 3 5-star Tera Raid battles I did were with Pokemon that have the Yawn move, and only using them on my Tauros. Like, for instance, right there. You saw it. He tried using Yawn again, and it was against my Tauros. Not against anybody else. That's why it failed. If it would have failed because of an ability, it would have said so. That's not what happened. So my Pokemon is usually targeted. Almost completely targeted. So we're going to cheer to raise attack. Plus these... It doesn't tell you... There's no instance on the screen that it tells you, oh, look, you have this much time left. No, there's no instance of that. At all. Period. Whatsoever. There is no instance of it telling you how much time you have left, but you are timed. All of these raid battles are timed. Alright, Terrastalize. Now, that's a Titan is burned and still did that much damage with Liquidation, whilst not having Stab, and is double intimidated. And as you can see, only attacking me. This is not a problem in 4-star raids. 4-star raids, it is absolutely not the case that you're going to be double down on like this. It's just not. Tauros is fast asleep still. Yay. There's no way to heal status also. So if your Pokemon can't naturally heal status, you're just dead in the water. So I might as well go ahead and cheer heal up. And as you can see, we have only taken out about 1/3 of his health. And all of these Pokemon, these Tera Raid battles, now I don't think they're necessarily well balanced, especially for offline mode. I just don't. I would hate to see what 6-star and 7-star raids look like, because those actually exist, which is just absurd. Energy has begun to gather around Titan. Yeah, this gives them much more like attack and stuff. Not attack, defense. And you have to break through it if you want to get them lower. But typically what I found is that in 5-star raids, you're doing such little damage, even with super effective hits. Here comes Yawn again. Tauros. Couldn't be anybody else. It's such a low chance of you having, like, doing enough damage that you're going to get knocked out of this area. Even if we don't faint, even if I never faint, you're going to enjoy this. Just watching me totally get thwomped out of this. This is the only thing I don't like about the game. Now, if I had level 100 Pokemon who were immune to this kind of stuff, or were just really super duper powerful, I'm guessing like Koraidon would be a great choice. And we're blasted out. Koraidon would be a great choice for that. The only problem is, and I know Koraidon would be a great choice, especially for that one, because he was a dark type, weak to fighting. The only problem with that is, I want to EV train my Koraidon before I use him. So, do we see like a situation here? It's honestly, I honestly want to say it's a little bit cheap. I don't really particularly like it. I don't care for it. I think it's kind of wild that the Tera Raid battles are that buff at 5-star, especially because, like I said, there is 6 and 7-star. I have not played either yet, and that to me sounds like a true horrendous nightmare. We're going to capture the Cyclizar for... Alright, flying. I mean, I guess that helps Cyclizar. Kind of not, because it's... I mean, he's still weak to ice. It helps him with his fighting weakness, I suppose. I almost don't even want to hit him here. Well, actually, you know what? I don't think you can actually KO these Pokemon in the wild. Yeah. You can only take them down to low health, and then you can throw a Pokeball. And I do still believe that it counts as first turn after... like, the first turn you can throw the Pokeball right there. We wouldn't have even got a critical catch if that wasn't the case. So that Cyclizar should, if he's good, be useful for my singles team, actually. Alright. So we're going to go to our boxes. We're going to check them out. Yeah, he's got 3 best. Acrobatics, Facade, Power Whip, and Shift Gear. Very interesting combination of moves. Yeah, so my singles team has 4 out of its 6. My doubles team has 4 out of its 6. And actually, my competitive team technically has all the Pokemon it's going to need, except for I want to get another Scyther to turn him into a Scissor. So, it's coming together, I think. It's coming together. My singles team has nothing but new Pokemon. My doubles team has nothing but well, not nothing but favorites of mine. And then my bug team has all the best bugs you can get in this gen. There's probably some argument about that because, like, again, I'm not using any legendaries on any of these 3 teams. My legendary team is not going to consist of anything. My Ubers team is not going to consist of anything other than pseudo-legendaries, legendaries, and the Paradox Pokemon, and the Ruin Pokemon, too. So I'll end up having that, but it's going to be more of a combination because a lot of the Pokemon in this game, a lot of the legendaries and Paradox Mons are weak to Fairy or Steel. And that's kind of weird. So we're going to, you know, kind of do like our best to make some pretty decent teams. I am really and truly wanting... I'm really and truly thinking about it. In fact, I'm probably going to do it. I'm probably going to go ahead and EV train this Koraidon off screen and get him into my party so that I can have something that will blast through maybe 5-star raids because it's just abysmal. He even has the correct, I think... No. I want Jolly with... Koraidon because he gets an automatic attack buff upon switching in. He does not need Adamant. Of course, Adamant would help if you need the extra damage, but it's not necessary. Very super duper funny though that when I caught him, I found an exploit technically that Cerulege is basically immune to everything he does, which was really funny because that means that if you had a level 1 Charcadet that you gave the malicious armor and turned into a Cerulege, a level 1 Cerulege would basically be not threatened by this level 72 amazing legendary, which is really crazy if you think about it. I don't know if they figured that out or knew that in development. I don't personally think they did, but I think it's very interesting. Like, actually very interesting. So, you can kind of see, like, my idea for these Pokemon here. This is going to be a Cerulege. I would have liked an Armor Rouge, probably, but it's fine. I think... I can't remember exactly who my other 2 Pokemon are for this team. I do have all of it written down. I know or believe that Dash Bun is going to be on one of these teams. Not too sure. I'm going to have to look it up again, what I've written down and all that whatnot jazz. But, again, like, it doesn't truly matter. We're going to take on some more Tera Raids, and then probably in between this episode and next is when I'm going to go ahead and do my EV training for the Koraidon I have, and bust out some more Tera Raids. Either that, you know, maybe I'll get to, let's see, what is this? 3-star, not even going to bother. It's not to say that the rewards aren't useful, because they still do give you rewards. It's just not what I'm looking for. That's a Palisand. I actually do need to KO some of those for the ability to get Earthquake. And he's a Grass-type Tera. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, Sandy Gas, not Palisand. Pretty interesting. Not really that, you know, great. You're not beating me, that's for sure. And a final Raging Bull. I don't know. I almost want to go and EV train that Koraidon right now so that I can do some more Tera Raids, potentially even like some 4-star stuff. Did I not mark this? Could have swore I set that as destination. Because, again, like you saw, 5-star raids are virtually impossible solo and offline. I'm pretty sure there are ways to cheese it, and I'm betting that our good friend Koraidon would be a way to do just that, and lovely. Don't need you, though. I was originally going to do a skill swap strategy with Slacking in order to fight, but then I started looking up some stuff, and I was asking questions, and I was like, okay, is there anything else that I can use in combination with Slacking to get rid of his ability? So I was looking up Worry Seed and other things like that, and no, none of that works. And then I found out Gastro Acid works. Okay. Yeah, I found out Gastro Acid works, and I was like, wait a minute. I've never heard of this ability before, or this move. So I was looking up Gastro Acid, and basically, it disables the ability of the Pokemon, regardless of the Pokemon, the immediate moment that you use it on the Pokemon. Now, what this does mean is that if, for instance, there are some downsides to this. If you use skill swap, alright, a level 5, he might have flying type moves actually. This is a 4-star Tera though, but it's not going to matter. So if you use skill swap, let's say Slacking and my skill swapper are on the field and we get intimidated. Well, I can skill swap away Truant onto my skill swap Pokemon, and then skill swap Truant onto the other opponent's Intimidate. This is all considering my skill swap Pokemon lasting this long, by the way. So I get Intimidate on my side, and then I can skill swap it again onto Slacking to get Intimidate again. So I don't even have to switch out, and I could just keep getting Intimidates. And that's all I would basically do with that Pokemon. The problem is, here is the very serious problem. It is slow. It is very slow, especially because of Truant. Because what will happen is if I skill swap Truant onto my Pokemon, the turn after, my Pokemon will not be able to act. Just like had he had Truant naturally. Which doesn't sound like too big of a deal until you realize that I'm trying to get rid of Truant, not give it to someone else. So, in theory, skill swap is a great idea, and if you have a really super duper bulky Pokemon, you could make good use of it. Like really good use of skill swap. But most people in a competitive setting are not going to let you just pummel on them with skill swap and let you just keep going with your Pokemon. It's just not happening. And as you can saw here, even in this 4-star raid, this was actually kind of weird. Potentially because he had a super effective move against my Pokemon, but he did nothing but attack my Tauros. Very weird. But here's another Intimidate for you. We can Terastallize. Yeah, and even though this area doesn't run slower, from what I can tell, like the Tera Raids don't really run slower, you can see a little bit of stutter here and there, but I have noticed some bugs, and we saw one in, I believe it was even the last Tera Raid, where my Tauros like turned around and was acting real funky. Don't know exactly what that was all about. Yeah, we're definitely not taking this Hawlucha. We don't need him. Again, this is one of those instances. Well, again, it's a free catch. I can throw him into surprise trades. Not really that big a deal. Let's throw him in something ridiculous, like a nest ball. Yeah, that's another thing too, is that if I were to find any Pokemon in 4 or 5-star raids right now, 6-star raids, from what I understand, have at least 531 EVs, so best. And that's what I would want. I'm not waiting until I have the potential to deal with 6-star raids before I start gathering a team, which might sound kind of lazy, but I also have this really ridiculous thing that most people have to deal with called limited time. It's really ridiculous. There should be more hours in the day. Alright, Hawlucha. Fighting Flying. Its elegant finishing moves, performed by nimbly leaping around using its wings, are polished in the forest where it was born and raised. Alrighty. I don't think that's... No, we still need 2 more Pokemon. Let's see. We'll probably do a couple more. But I'm pretty well intent on doing exactly what I said. I'm going to be EV training my Koraidon in between episodes. And once I EV train my Koraidon, I'm going to try to take on some 5-star Tera Raids. Am I going to do that necessarily in a video? No. I think doing multiple Tera Raid videos would be kind of pointless, being honest. Especially because we have still a lot to do in this game. Like, not an overwhelming amount, but we still do have a pretty significant... Wow, that's a Pokemon. Tiny little fella. We still have a pretty significant post-game to go through. It's, from what I understand, decently big. And I don't necessarily want to make this Let's Play 150 episodes. Especially because once I'm done with this Let's Play, like I've said, there is actually a Let's Play I have in mind. As well as I want to do battle videos with Pokemon Scarlet. Absolutely, I think that would be fun. And then I have some scripted content I was wanting to work on as well that I have not yet been able to truly finish. And unfortunately, because I don't have some of the games I want to do sort of like a top 5 Fire Emblem games, in my opinion. I don't have the capability... What is that? Oh, a Diglett. No one cares. I don't have the capability of recording some of the games, specifically the DS games, that I'm going to be putting on that list. But I still want to do the video, and I'm not sure how to go about that, being honest. Alright, a 4-star Metachan raid. He is Water type. We're going to change our Pokemans. Now, he is going to have fighting type moves, but Meowscarada should still be able to deal with him. Especially because he's a water type at this current moment through the Tera. We'll probably do a couple more, nothing major. I'm not going to make this video drag on. I did want to just talk about some of the things I'm going to be doing future. Now, wonderful thing about Utreon, and I guess I'll still be doing this on YouTube too, is I can do posts, and they're not going to get deleted by Utreon making those things require you to put forth money before you can use them, or become some big channel before you can use them. Thank you, YouTube. But all that aside, it's kind of interesting because, alright, fake out. Who would have possibly seen that coming, right? So it's kind of interesting because I think that the video could still turn out well, but I just don't know yet. I've wanted to make top 5, top 10 videos for a very long time about certain games I play and series and Nintendo in general and things like that. But I've been hesitant to do it just because I don't want to seem sellouty or gimmicky, because that's not what I'm doing. I just think they're cool videos. They're interesting videos. So I'll probably get around to doing just that at some point. But that's basically my plans for after this Let's Play. And because I have a pretty decent amount of plans for after this Let's Play, I don't necessarily want this Let's Play to take forever. So we'll just do one episode of this. If I want to throw in some 5-star Tera Raids in the midst, I might. And these 4-star raids are trying to prove me wrong or something. But I swear last time I was doing them, they weren't just singling me out. That is what he's doing right now. That is what they've all been doing today. But it's kind of awkward. Again, I actually just don't think that the Dynamax raids or the Tera Raids of either Gen 8 or Gen 9 were all that well balanced. And it's unfortunate that's the case, because this is supposed to be like the selling feature of multiplayer of Pokemon in this gen. And like one of the selling features. And it's just not what I would call great. It's kind of unfortunate too, because this game is not bad. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's definitely not bad as a Pokemon experience. The new Pokemon look cool, except for the starters. I'm not really keen on them. The new legendaries are cool. The new ideas of like an open world Metroidvania style game is pretty darn cool. I've praised the game a lot, and I think it's because a lot of people are willing to crap on the game that folks kind of like look at those who praise the game as like you're a sellout. But the problem is, oh, and I found out something. How did I not know this the whole playthrough? There's probably somebody watching my videos thinking I was a moron this whole time. But all you have to do is press L1. Yeah, I mean, I praised the game, but I've also criticized the game, because anything that you love, you will find praise in it, but you will also find ways that it can improve. That's just reality. If you can't find ways to improve the game that you love, or the thing that you love, you know, whatever hobby it is, it probably means that you're a bit blindsided concerning hobbies. We're talking about non-substantial, non-important things here, right? But so, like, even Smash Ultimate. Smash Ultimate is my favorite game of all time. Of all time. There is no game ever, period, past, present, future, probably, that will ever beat it unless they make a Smash game that's even better than it, which I doubt. I sincerely doubt they ever will. How do you top Smash Ultimate when most of the things that Nintendo has ability to use in that game, they're not going to have ability to use? Like, for instance, Minecraft Steve. That's not going to be in every Smash game. He's not going to be in every Smash game going forward. It's just not happening. But, so, like, there are still things I think could be done better about the game. Like, for instance, the tournament styles. I think that they could easily... Nintendo could make that game into, pardon the pun, but a smash hit. Much bigger than it already is, by doing some simple, like, tournament organization. Because they shut down every tournament that there is, and then they don't organize them themselves. I think that's a very serious flaw. I don't like that. I think it's dumb. I'm not even competitively minded in the game, and I still think it's dumb. And then, for instance, the loading times of the game could be heightened and made better. Every gimme goal we find, we are going to be checking out. So, there are things that I believe that Smash, my favorite game, a game that I would dare consider close to perfect, even that game needs improving. Not very many, granted. There's not really like a lag issue or like a problem really with anything. And some people will say, well, Gamerman, the servers are terrible on that game. And I'll say to you, no. I've played probably a good 100 hours of Smash Online and have had maybe 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 matches be unplayable or be bad or be an issue. And, you know, I just left because who cares? The moment that Smash becomes so competitively minded, which they're never going to, that the only thing that they care about is like banning you for leaving matches is like is the moment I would stop playing online. I don't play online games specifically because I don't agree with a lot of the ways that those things are handled. I just do not, nor can I agree. But in my experience, I don't really see it as being an issue, even in that. But, I mean, it could be improved, even though I don't necessarily see it as an issue, because everything in that matter could be improved for any game. You get a lot of people out there saying things like, Smash has terrible servers, but I'm a lifetime Call of Duty fan. And you immediately just want to roll your eyes until they move so far they break the sound barrier. Like, I seriously don't listen to people who tell me that Smash's servers are bad, whilst they play games that have noticeably bad servers and have had noticeably bad servers for the entirety of the existence of the game. Like, Call of Duty has had, what, 10, 12 entries in the series that had online play, and every one of them has bad service online. Smash has had 2? Or is it 3? And it's still good? Maybe not the best in the world, but it's still good. I mean, stuff like that just bonkers me. It blows my mind. It really does. But I didn't come onto this game to rant about good old Call of Duty that nobody likes. That game is trash and is becoming nothing but political trash. That's why you will just never see it on my channel. You'll never see games like that because I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to play games that throw morals out the window. Like, I'm just not. I think that, and here's the best way I put it. If I could not show my kids, alright, this is a Dragon-type Raichu. I wish I had a ground Pokemon, but I do not. I guess this is fine. Let's try this. I don't really have a super effective move for this Pokemon on my Tauros, but I mean, I probably should have changed to. In fact, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run and show you what you could not do in the Gigantamax battles. But yeah, you're just never gonna see that. You're never gonna find, like, for instance, some of the new Fire Emblem games. I love the Fire Emblem series. I won't play those games because it's just like sexual perversion. The game. No, thank you. You know, like, Engage is coming out, and I'm telling you what, that game looks and sounds like trash from the get-go. Like, actual trash. The top 5 Fire Emblem games, spoiler alert, will not contain any of the post-Awakening games that are all about being politically correct. It's just not happening. Alright, we're going to switch to Cyclizar here because I don't know why I wasn't doing this in the first place. I originally was going to go into this battle thinking, oh, if this Raichu's a physical attacker, Intimidate's going to be great. However, I literally have a dragon with a dragon-type move that debuffs attack. So if this Raichu is a physical attacker, it's not going to matter. Likely it's special attacker. Besides, dragon resists electric. So that's just an intelligent move on my part. Another thing, too, that I've noticed, at least in the 4-star raids, I don't know about the 5-star raids yet, none of the Pokemon have Terra Blast. So, like, for instance, this Raichu doesn't learn a Dragon-type move naturally, if I'm not mistaken. And what that means is that my Dragon here is of no concern with, like, potential moves that are going to be super effective against my dragon. I mean, I think Pikachu and Raichu do learn, like, electric moves, but I could not be bothered to find out whether or not that's the case. It's actually really funny that Umbreon can synchronize Paralysis onto an electric-type Pokemon, but cannot synchronize Poison onto a Poison-type or a Steel-type. I think that's really odd. I really do think that's really odd. Don't understand it at all. Yeah, and we've taken virtually no damage on this, and this Raichu hasn't just attacked us, which is surprising, to say the least. However, our attack is now 2 stages down, which means we are at, what, 50? It's either 50 or 67% attack. We're going to go ahead and Breaking Swipe in Terrestrialization. Hopefully this helps us break through his Energy Gather mode. Not really sure what to call that. Not like it truly matters. Alright, cool, we broke through. Fantastic. Yeah, Nuzzle is a physical attack, so even though, I mean, it's actually really cool. I prefer Nuzzle over Thunder Wave any day. Like, any day. If a Pokemon learns Nuzzle, I will not teach him Thunder Wave. Just because Thunder Wave has a chance to hit or miss. Of course it has chances to hit. But Nuzzle bypasses things like Taunt, which is really cool. And this Dragon-type Raichu is gone. Again, I don't need this Pokemon even in the slightest, but I am actually going to catch just because I think somebody out there will like having this as a surprise trade. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be wasting my time, because these Pokemon at 4-star raids don't have enough IVs good to want, unless the Tera type and the moves are good. Because that's the thing, is that Tera raid battles can yield Pokemon that do have breeding moves, egg moves, stuff like that. And then the Tera type could just be useful, you know. Registered. Raichu, electric type. His tail discharges electricity into the ground, protecting him from getting shocked. Let's see. Is that 200? Aw, come on. Let's go and catch a Pokemon we have not caught before, so we can just have 200. Okay, we've caught those. Not really caught those. It's actually not likely we're going to find a Pokemon here that I haven't gotten from surprise trade. So we're just going to fly far away. Set as destination. Fly to this spot. Yeah, I am only just barely about to scrape halfway through the Pokédex. Now, I will grant that one of the reasons why I hated doing the Pokédex in Sword and Shield is because I'm a perfectionist. I can't believe I just found a Sharkadet in the wild like that. I am a perfectionist, and I made a living dex. So that's definitely something I'm never doing again. And we are going to pull out the stake. I just decided I'm going to pull those out whenever I see them. 5-star Tera Raid, electric type, and he's already an electric type. This is kind of wild, because I think the only Pokemon that would be relatively good for this fight is my Cloth. I wish I had a ground type, because ground is both immune to electric and resist poison. But I literally do not have a ground type, like a single ground type. Except for, I mean, these, but I'm going to be, Yeah, they're too low of level. I guarantee it anyway. So, let's see. We're going to go ahead and go in this with... Earthquake is pointless here because it's going to hit all my teammates, and I want that 0%. So we're going to challenge this Pokemon, but I have a feeling that we're going to be sorely disappointed. Sorely. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Rock resists poison too, doesn't it? I want to say? I don't have a full encyclopedic knowledge of what resists what and what is super effective against what. I try to keep those things in memory, but... Gotta say, I don't always necessarily know. Took me until, what, Gen 6 to find out certain, like, weaknesses of Pokemon, which is pretty wild. Boom Burst. I resist that, and that still did that much damage. Incredible. Alright, attack Rose sharply. Alright, so, as you can see... two of my teammates are almost fainted. I'm almost fainted. And... yes, if this high horsepower hits, that's 3 stages of attack higher. 3 stages of attack higher. Can we just see that for a moment? If I hit all 5 times, this is actually going to do more damage than the high horsepower, which is abysmal. But I did not. I'd be lying if I said I was surprised by the fact that I was the one who was nuzzled there. So this is probably going to be my last for this episode, just because this is... it's kind of abysmal. Alright. That is me and Drifloon fainted. Oh wait, no. I thought Overdrive attacked everybody on the field, but I guess not. It's funny too, because he's only using special attack, so the burn is almost pointless. High horsepower. Yeah, this is wild. Stole some of our Tera Orb. Interesting. May be unable to move. It's basically as if you're getting all your moves to, instead of 100% accuracy, they're 75% accurate. That's the way I like to think about it. And each time you faint, it takes longer for you to revive. Alright, energy has begun to gather around Toxtricity. He stole my orb! Yeah, if I would have had, like, a rock ground type, this would have been a no-brainer. Like, I think I would have actually beaten this pretty well. Alright, we're gonna do a Rock Blast, and then we'll go ahead and do, like, a high horsepower next time. And see this? This is also a bug. This shouldn't be happening. When you terrestrialize, you're supposed to see your Pokemon, like, in a spiral around them and whatnot. That's just... it's just kind of wild. Alright, 4 times, and I did next to nothing. We all knew that Nuzzle was coming for me. And... we missed. Wouldn't matter, we're not KOing this Toxtricity anyway. It's just not possible at this rate. And we're going to get busted out of here, boosted out of here, booted out of here, whatever you want to say, right after my ability activates. Because you're on a time limit, and the time limit doesn't stop for anything. That's the reason why everybody can attack at once. It literally doesn't stop for anything. So somebody like Cloths with his Anger Shell ability is actually a detriment, I'm finding. Which is very unfortunate, because I thought Cloth was going to be a far and away better Pokemon than he is in this playthrough. But what I found was the overwhelming majority of the time that all of the problems with the rock type still prevail in him. And even though I love the rock type still, I still do. You're never going to get me away from the rock type. It's probably because I have like this anti-meta desire to play with Pokemon that aren't considered the greatest. Which is funny, because I also love legendary Pokemon. Go figure. But with all that being said, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. Comment and share, it's always appreciated, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.